Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello and welcome back to another episode of Everything Possible in Dark Souls 2. And today we're going to take a look at the second half of the Lost Bastille, as well as Belfry Luna and the Sinner's Rise. Just getting prepared here in order to take out Belfry Luna first, since that's where we are. Not to mention, killing the Gargoyles and getting the Bastille Key afterwards can be very beneficial to us later on, as you'll see. So we come down this ladder, and there is a dog hiding behind these boxes, so make sure you take him out. And we get the large club behind him, and then in this iron chest we get the priest chime, which is not overall a terrible chime if you're going for a pure miracle build, especially if you're going for lightning damage. Infusing this with the lightning infusion and getting that to plus 10 can be a very viable weapon for the entirety of the game. Ferrous Lockstone contraption, we know how these work at this point. Completely ignoring that guy since we're even in his covenant at this point. Now remember, we are still playing offline, so we don't have to risk about actual player invasions, but there will be an NPC invader that we'll have to deal with at the top of the tower. Our first Skeptic Spice of the area. Hop down through the hole in the floor. And we get ourselves the blue Tearstone ring. Now this ring is not nearly as useless as it was in Dark Souls 1. We have another Skeptic Spice here, but the blue Tearstone ring will give you an extra 35% physical defense when you're below 30% HP. Now that is the total defense of whatever you're wearing. So if you stack the Ring of Steel protection and Havel's gear, you'll get an extra 35% physical damage protection above that, which is very, very good. And if you want to live on the edge with very little health but high defense, there you go. Now climbing up here, apparently I second guessed myself, climbing up here can be very dangerous. There are a number of these dwarves waiting for us, including the NPC invader. So we'll do our best to hold him at bay with our great lightning spear, but sadly, even one of those is not enough to one-shot these just yet. It's very close, but just like in the last Belfry, we want to watch out when they take their bows out. They are incredibly deadly archers. Not like the show archer, although he's pretty deadly, but in a very different way. I've never seen him use a bow. Or did he use a bow when he was with Lana in the swamp in that one episode? I have to go watch more Archer. I'll wait till we're done here though, don't worry. As you can see, when they have their bow out, it is no joke. Alright, grab ourselves a couple of rusted coins from them. Go ahead and pull the lever, which will ring the bell as well as open the gate to the Belfry Gargoyle boss fight. Grab ourselves a Radiant Lifegem and a Twilight Herb in this wooden chest. Then, behind the pillar next to it, we have a Skeptic Spice again. So another 3 spices in the Belfry. And this fog wall, which is now accessible because the gate is raised, will lead to the Belfry Gargoyles fight. Now here's how this boss fight works. When you first run into the arena, 2 gargoyles will spawn. I don't know, the fog wall just looked menacing, I guess. 2 will spawn. Once you get the total boss health down to 90%, a 3rd will spawn. When you're at 70%, a 4th will spawn, and at 50%, a 5th will spawn. So it is possible to be fighting 5 of these gargoyles at the same time if you don't fight them accordingly. You should focus on 1 at a time to reduce the risk of fighting too many at the same time. Now the other thing that will happen is once an individual gargoyle is down below 50% HP, they will typically switch their fighting patterns and start breathing fire. Kill them quick because you don't want to be fighting a melee gargoyle up close and have another gargoyle breathing fire. However, with Great Lightning Spear with our Idol's Chime, 2 is all it takes. So this will not be a terribly difficult fight for me as long as I can keep them from hitting me. Well, hopefully I don't get hit again. Okay. Well, we already have 3 out of the 5 gargoyles killed. And Right now, only one is on the ground, which is excellent. Should be able to control this fight just fine. And sure enough, I just switched to my Lightning Spear since I ran out of the Great Lightning Spear. And I did mention in the last video, but yes, these gargoyles are very weak to lightning. I almost said allergic. I think allergies is something Dark Souls needs to add. Grab ourselves a soul item. Just picture it. What if you could find out a boss's allergy, like peanut butter, and you could run in with just a butter knife slathered full of peanut butter, and that was how you had to take out the boss? That's why I don't develop games. Southern Ritual Band in this iron chest. This will give us an extra attunement slot for free, which is very nice. And we do get a bonfire. Now this next area below the ladder can be tricky if you don't handle it well and handle it quickly. We do have numerous dogs down here, as well as soon as we hit the ground, we are going to be invaded by a Black Phantom. So basically, as a caster, I just hop down and I spam as fast as I can. This is where fast casting speed is an absolute blessing. Take out as many as we can, and then as soon as we notice that the NPC's coming, get hit and then run up the stairs. The hitting part's optional. It's my tactic. It doesn't have to be yours. And now that the dogs are dead, we can very easily take out Vorgel the Sinner, because he also seems to be allergic to lightning. Upstairs we do have an Enchanted Falchion, and below, the reason we're here, the Bastille Key. This will open up numerous opportunities for us when we proceed just a little bit later into the level. And from here we're going to take the bonfire elsewhere. So we can continue on. We're going to meet Strayed, and we're going to head towards Sinner's Rise. Through this door, we do have an Undead Citizen. Thank you to one of my viewers for pointing out the actual name for these guys. I'll probably still call them Mummy, but Undead Citizen is actually correct. Human Effigy hanging out on the ledge there. I roll because apparently I like to live dangerously. You can just break your way through those boxes. There's somewhat of an ambush here with another Undead Citizen. And this is the area that I was referring to in the last episode with the rooftops, where you can, if you want to, jump down onto the platform above the well in case the Wanderer set gets stuck there. There it is right there. Grab ourselves some flame butterflies, and now we're going to hop across. Get ourselves a large soul of a Nameless soldier. And then from here we can just climb this ladder to proceed. This is just an alternate route that we took. We didn't have to go this way. We could have continued up that spiral staircase, and it would have put us out in this room anyway. And hiding behind this wooden door is the single most important piece of Dark Souls 2 lore, the skeleton trapped in a wall. We have two gates that will raise once we pull this lever on a timer, which is actually beneficial because once we can get into this corner, we can line up our shots and we can deal with these stupid exploding guys fairly easily. I'll just use my binoculars to spell snipe, and they are no issue whatsoever. Now in here there are three. Two are currently hidden in these jars to my left. So once I take care of them, we will expose them and deal with them accordingly. And in this room, there is a hidden wall. And we're going to explore that in just a little bit, but spoiler alert, that is the hidden wall that you will take in order to get the item. I could watch that all day. That's how you get to the item that is above Macduff's workshop that we saw last episode. Opening this door just to show you that we've already been here. That is where we got a bonfire ascetic as well as the wilted dusk herb down in the iron chest. And a room full of exploding guys. You might not have guessed this, but I suggest using range attacks. And with them all dead, we can use a Fragrant Branch of Yore on Strayed. Set him free, and while he's recovering, we'll go ahead and open this door since we have the Bastille Key. And in the corner, we have a Petrified Dragonbone and 3 Firebombs. Light this bonfire now that he's out of the way, and he not only is a merchant, he'll have a jester for us, and we have numerous boss weapons that we can get by trading the souls to him. We get the Mock Gesture, and then we take a look, Ring of Knowledge for extra intelligence, Lingering Dragoncrest Ring, some Rouge Water, and then a couple of spells that I'll pick up as well. Now the Lingering Dragoncrest Ring is a very interesting ring. It increases the length of certain spells. Spells that have a limited duration, such as your weapon buffs or something like Scraps of Light, they are actually increased by wearing this ring. And just showing off some of the weapons that we can get with the boss souls that we've already acquired. He will get others as we kill other bosses. If he doesn't have them, then Ornifex, who we saw earlier, and we'll see again in Brightstone Cove Seldora, she will trade for the other ones. But now, we're going to head back down, we're going to go check out that illusory wall. Or walls, because there are 2. Straight ahead, just interact with the wall. And then along this left wall somewhere, there it is. And now I am going to use a Homeward Bone to get back, that's why I just equipped that. Over to the left, we have the Bracing Knuckle Ring, which will give us 20% lower durability loss on our equipment. And then a very small hop to get a Flame Butterfly and 3 torches. And now, to get the item that can be a bit precarious to get, carefully walk along the edge, especially around the corners. That's where it gets tricky. Now we can just run to the end, grab ourselves the Soul of a Brave Warrior and the Golden Wing Shield. So all of that work for a shield that protects us from 60% physical damage. Hooray! It is a cool looking shield, and it has some decent magic defense, but any shield with only 60% physical defense is borderline useless in my opinion. Then again, the only reason I have the Disc Chime is because of the extra miracle damage it gives me. I'm just not a fan of shields. Now this doorway just leads to the bridge, which we could have taken by walking through the gate you see there. Take care of a Royal Swordsman, grab 8 life gems. And now we run across this bridge, and normally the archers and the crossbowmen in this game have incredible aim and tracking. These 3, I'm guessing that they didn't really make the cut. That post was obviously not very important, so when they were chosen for the position, it was due to the fact that they were absolutely terrible at marksmanship. That's my guess. I don't think that's official lore. I did pop a rusted coin just so we can get some extra item find in this area, because there is an item that I hope will drop. Again, this is post-commentary. I can't pretend like I don't know. It does drop. We'll see that in a little bit. There is another one. Or at least there should have been another one. But it turns out he dropped down all the way. He survived the fall all the way to the bottom floor. We have a large soul of a lost undead hiding on this ledge. And now we'll climb down, and we're going to use the platform that we came in on as a sniping perch, so we can deal with these swordsmen that are on the ground level. And you can see he lost about 1/3 of his health from the drop. That would have killed us 1,000 times over. That seems fair. And one more that will snipe. And the other one usually doesn't actually walk into that room until you've gotten closer, but I guess this calls for a special occasion. Run around the side, very carefully grab a human effigy. Very easy to run off that stairwell. Get the Royal Swordsman Leggings. Get the Royal Greatsword, which is like a glorified Flamberge. Flamberge. And yet another elevator. Why? Why so much vertical change in level design that you needed this many elevators? And we haven't even gotten to the really long one. 5 lacerating knives for putting up with that elevator, and luckily, Lucatiel's summon sign is here, so we will be able to complete her quest line because we can summon her for the Rotten and for the Lost Sinner. Now, I believe they decided to name these the Enhanced Undead, I believe is what Marcus or Epic Namebro has called them. Get the Sublime Bone Dust. Him and Franz, the German spy, I believe have referred to these as the Enhanced Undead. And luckily, because these enemies are just soaked in water, lightning does a tremendous amount of damage. And these are the enemies that I was hoping would drop the item I was looking for, which does drop on the 3rd and final one, and we'll see that in just a moment. But we do have another fake wall here, and inside we have a body that has the Northern Ritual Band and a Bleedstone. So the Northern Ritual Band gives us increased spell usage. We already have the +1 version that we got from Carillion down in No Man's Wharf, but for completion's sake, we did get this one as well. And this guy does drop it. This is the Malformed Skull. This, if you want a heavy weapon that packs a punch, the Malformed Skull could very well be what you're looking for. When you upgrade it around the raw path and you get it to +10, the Malformed Skull will do 514 pure physical damage. So you don't have to worry about split damage and 2 defenses. 514. Now it has no scaling whatsoever, but you can infuse it, or you can buff it, I should say. Now this area can be tricky because there are 7 of the exploding guys. 1 right at the beginning, 1 on either side. We'll use the Bastille Key, grab ourselves a Fire Seed. Now there are 4 on the bottom in the water where we'd run slower. So here's my technique. First off, just showing that you can use the Bastille Key and you can avoid them altogether. But there is an item down there. So of course we're going to show that. So just hop down and then run. Don't look back. Don't wonder if they're following you. They are. And now just get back onto the stairwell. And just like we've done in numerous other areas, we've just created a bottleneck. Now they're very simple to deal with. If you try to fight them down in the water, it can be very difficult. Alright, the cell in the back left does have an item, so we'll run into there. And we get a Soul of a Proud Knight and another Ferrous Lockstone. And we will pull the lever to raise this gate. This would be the path to get to the Lost Sinner if you didn't pick up the Bastille Key. Not to mention, if you didn't pick up the key, the fight is much, much harder. As many of you know, if you played the game, once you get into the boss arena, the Lost Sinner is going to knock out the lights in the room. If you go to either side before the arena and you have the key, you can light these oil spigots, and it'll actually light the arena up, giving you a much greater lock-on distance. Hiding in this corner is a Radiant Lifegem. We'll go and do the same on the other side. No item hiding down there, unfortunately. Inside, however, we do have a Smooth and Silky Stone. And other than the Lost Sinner boss fight, that's everything there is in this area. So with the Lost Bastille, Sinner's Rise, and Belfry Luna complete, that is one more area down, and now we just have Doors of Pharos and Brightstone Cove Seldora to take out before we actually go and kill the 4 Great Ones, and then we can proceed with the second half of the game. We did stop back here at Majula so we could upgrade our flask with the Sublime Bone Dust and the Flash Shard that we found. And that's going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you learned something, please feel free to leave me a comment below, or if you have questions, that's the place to do it as well. I will talk to you guys next time.